and yeah, we're kind of stuck at the moment. Like no fresh money can get in, no money can get out, and it's a bit of a mad situation actually what we're in right now. But look, it's fucking launched. It's finally fucking launched, and I am super happy and I'm super excited that we're finally in this position where we can we can now start trading our pulse chain and our pulse X and doing stuff over on a cheaper chain. Although thank you to a certain Mr. Jack Levin, it wasn't cheap for long. So, anyways, let's get into it. Let me get these speakers up here. So, Qeno, I've offered you the mic, sir. Let's see what else we can get up here. We got PulseX in the chat. Come through, sir. We got Loz in the chat. I'll send you a little invite there. And let's get John up here. We got Marco. Yeah, shout out Bitcoin, Bitcoin Beefy. How you doing? Finley, Cake, Thomas, LFG, PLS. If you want to come up and have a chat with us, please hit that request button and let's have a chat this evening. So, who have we got? Who have we got? Hi Marco, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, buddy. What's up?
Nothing much, man. Just trying to get down to the bottom of what the fuck is going on here. I have honestly no idea what's happening. Have you been paying attention today? Are you able to give us a bit of an idea of what the crack is?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, just very quickly before you do that, just want to remind everyone: if you're in the space, it is an open space. It's going to be very laid back. If you know anything about me, there'll be a lot of swearing, a lot of just messing about. We don't take ourselves too seriously here. We're just here to have fun and just digest everything that's going on in a positive way. I just want to ask you all, please share the spaces out and get some fresh eyes in here. Please retweet it or share it in your Telegram groups. Comment underneath with topics that you think are relevant to the spaces. And with that, go ahead, Marco. Sorry to cut you off, buddy.
So, welcome everybody. We have some topics today talking about what happened to all the ERC20s, and we can have a nice discussion. Yeah, why can I get, or how can I get the incentive token? That's one big topic, because we will have the same on 9-inch with the BBC token. And yeah, the DEX screen prices, what are they based on? And yeah, if you want, I would.
Good stuff. So we've also got Qeno, lead dev for 9-inch. How you doing, bro?
GM guys, Marco, you have a hot mic there.
Yeah,
I'm doing good, man. I was supposed to go to sleep actually, but I got woken up. But now I'm here, man. Glad to be here.
Are you
I think
alive?
I'm gonna.
GM guys.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna take the opportunity and to actually order a hamburger to my room because I am pretty hungry. While we wait for this to get cranked up.
Good stuff, man. So I just and we've also got K9 and Bow Wow. Welcome, boys. How you doing? It's like a full stage fucking Telegram chat in here right now. everyone's full stage. Even me, actually. Fucking love full stage, man. Yeah, so I'll just tell you guys quickly about what I'm doing. So I mentioned earlier, I'm in Disneyland right now. Fuck me, it's expensive over here, guys. Like, shit, I paid €4.50 for a fucking bottle of Coke earlier. Feel robbed. I paid 40 quid, 40 euros for a taxi, which was like a 5 minute ride. I'm gonna go home so poor. Like, but we had to come over. It's my little boy's 10th birthday, or it was the other day. So I wanted to take him to Disneyland. He's never been. I've never been. And it's been good fun, man. I went on the Indiana Jones ride, which is a big ass roller coaster that goes upside down and shit. I went on that and went on the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, which was fucking awesome. Like that thing was sick. It's kind of like a boat ride through like Pirates of the Caribbean world or whatever. It was fucking awesome. But the queues, man, the queues, like 2 hour queues for shit and stuff. And I just hate standing around doing nothing. So you would have thought during that time I'd be able to catch up on everything that's going on with PulseChain and all of that at the minute, but I've got no internet out there, so I can't even do that. Sucks, man. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Moomin Man, welcome, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I got here a few minutes late. I was on TikTok.
You
Sorry.
fucking boomer. That's funny. Right, so without further ado, I'll stop chatting shit about what I've got going on. I see Thomas is in here as well. Let me invite you up, buddy. Just right, let's do that. Right, who's going to explain to me what's happening with PulseChain right now? Because I just seen Bridge was launched, and within about 5 minutes, oh, Bridge isn't working. Soz guys, can you please send Pulse to us so that we can fix it?
Yeah,
Colonel
people
Speaker
are
One.
selling their Pulse OTC now like crazy. Travis selling it for like 10x the SAC price. I think that's amazing. Oh, 100x or 10x. I think it was even 100x the SAC price. It's crazy. It's basically
Shit.
everybody's Tumblr right now.
That's funny. I seen a Hex Joker as well. He was doing it. He was like, what did he say? 10 cents a pulse, which is yeah, 100x or no, it's 1,000x, 1,000x from sack price. And he's on about doing, oh, I'll do up to 50 million, which is going to be how much is that? $5 million. Like, bruh. Oh fuck me, man. I wish I could. I wish I had some pulse to be selling around like that. Fuck, you know. But yeah, so let's start with this bridge thing. So does anyone in here? I'm assuming Qeno probably does, but does anyone in here know how a bridge works and why we might have seen some issues with that?
If someone either Qeno or K9 or somebody who knows, but why are people selling their PLS OTC? How did it come to this? Like what's going on?
It's simple a bit. It's because of like 90% sacrifice for PulseX and not so many sacrifice for PulseChain. So, and everybody who sacrificed for PulseX, they got one free pulse from Senior Richard. But you can't do shit with one pulse right now. Like, you barely could do anything with it when mainnet launch. So, everybody wants pulse so they can have some gas, basically. To people can't even swap their PulseX, you know? So, they're watching a chart just tanking and they want to get out and they can't because they have no gas and they cannot bridge in anything because the bridge is clogged, and they're basically stuck. So people are begging to get some pulse tokens. They even paying a huge premium to do that, so they're sending $100 and getting like $1 worth of sacrifice tokens just to get some gas, basically.
Shit.
And was
So
this
so
one
I was
pulse
under the
from beginning?
impression.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, everyone got one pulse. Everyone who stacked for PulseX anyway got one pulse. But so I was under the impression, right, as we were building up to PulseChain and all of this, I was under the impression that one pulse would last you a while. Like you'd be able to do many transactions with one pulse.
You
That was
could
kind
on
of,
test net. That was
well,
the case for
is it
test net.
because is it because of the Jack Levin thing? I know he kind of ruined it for everyone yesterday, at least temporarily.
Nope.
But
No.
it,
It's not
no, it
because of
wasn't
Jack.
him.
Like Jack had destroyed it. Even like he came and like kicked on the lying victim or whatever you say. But like it wasn't Jack's fault that it started. Like even in the beginning, like as soon as mainnet went live, I think it was still like 80 pulls or something, or 50 pulls for a swap. So like the one pulse never helped. I don't know why it is actually like that, because people were using testnet. I use testnet a lot, and it was kind of like one pulse was kind of like one ETH, you know. So like if you have one ETH, you can do multiple transactions on Ethereum. And I don't know, I didn't look into it why it went up so much, but
It's
it's kind of a
because of
good
Zen.
thing. It's a,
Zen minting
yeah,
is
but
going on.
see, Gary got his hand up. Gary, feel free to speak
Yeah,
up.
what's up, Gary? Mr. Fun in the Gym himself. How you doing, bro? Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Yeah, so just to have a little bit of clarity on the one pulse thing, imagine that all people that hold Bitcoin transacted or wanted to transact within the first hour. All the people that that transacted on PulseChain, part of it, yes, there was some additional congestion, effectively about 10 hours after the it was known that the chain was accessible. Once that tweet went out about it being live and stuff, and then people went to basically engage. But there are transactions, I see them, I did them too, that were zero point 0.08 of a PLS, 0.07 of a PLS, 0.06 of a PLS. So the comment earlier about, I thought that the one airdropped PLS in every Ethereum's wallet would be enough. Well, it was. It was enough until basically, not because of Jack. I don't want to say it as far as Jack, but as far as like the rush of people trying to say, how can I get ahead of the line to engage with this platform or this blockchain? How can I, start to ratio trade? And maybe I was in PLSX and I want to go to PLS, or maybe PLS people say, hey, if that ratio is wild and wonky, then I want, a 7-to-1 ratio or 10-to-1 ratio of PLX. So like the narrative that gets out there, and it is the dramatic narrative is, man, it didn't work for me because only one, and now it costs 80, right? Well, keep in mind 80 is 8 cents. 8 cents at mass transaction, mass hype, mass 2 years of waiting participants that are already in the choir and in the church of this RH ecosystem. Now there's the bridges, and the bridges are basically people that want to come in that are new economic energy. They're new participants. There are people that are bridging from PulseChain to Ethereum, so they can do the same thing, and they're going to pay, 10, 20, 30, $50, whatever it is at the time in ETH gas to set up liquidity and be market makers there of tokens that are coming from PulseChain over to Ethereum. And the same thing is happening that you can see on chain in the bridges of a dollar value of like the mid 20s or $30 million worth of value. So when it launched 3 days ago, I have a lot of transactions that I'm looking at in my own history that were under a single PLS. And then I see that there were spikes up in PLS transaction cost that were 80, 100, 1,000, kind of PLS burns. And again, 1,000 PLS is 10 cents, I think. So like keep that in mind as far as the perspective. This is a good experience. This is what happens when markets go live. This is what happens when Apple was not a massive company, but you would have people waiting in line at the Apple Store for the new release of a cell phone, or the new release of Star Wars, the Jedi Strikes or whatever. Like hype is a thing. Participants, behind the red rope, waiting to get into the club is a thing. Like that's part of this. I'm willing to slip $100 to the doorman to get into the club kind of narrative that is what happens in code in Ethereum, and it happens in code in PulseChain. People just want to participate.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually a good point if you put it like that. I mean, 80 pulse to do a transaction is only eight cents, as you say. I did see some that were like, I don't know, a few thousand pulse, but if that's the case, it's still only like 30 cents or something, which is pretty cheap. And I guess that as the value of pulse goes up, it is going to get reduced because there'll be less activity going on the more people care about the gas fee. So it does make sense, I guess. So yeah, nice point. Agree with you. Jim Rat, what you saying, bro? Good to see you here, mate.
What's up? I want to know if I should send this ETH onto the bridge. I sent some stuff last night, but I want to do it again on a different computer, and I just was at work, and I wasn't paying attention to anything today. Are we still just clogged up? I see my other transaction from last night is still clogged up, so I'm assuming people are not successfully bridging their ETH at this exact moment, or are they? It's just a like variable time.
Yeah, I mean, if you got, I haven't done the analysis, and I don't really think it's necessary to do the analysis of what is the per transaction in the 20 something million dollars worth in the bridge on the way, like, going through the nodes and being processed by validators and all that stuff. Basically, I think it's like 7 or maybe 9 bridges, 9 different nodes are basically, handling this volume. And I'm sure that they're in queues. I have stuff that's being bridged. I've been waiting, 12 hours, whatever, since yesterday at my first attempt at a bridge, and it hasn't completed. It has the sending transaction, but not the receiving transaction yet. But like, what is the dollar? Or if you say this is dollar value, is that 25 million $1 bridging transactions? Is that $20,000 transactions, in volume? Like, it depends on like how long it will take to be congested and be unstuck. Richard made some tweets, if you haven't seen them, in the past, like maybe 2 hours, hour and a half or something, specifically about the bridging, and about first to be addressed is the current congestion, and then right after that congestion is dealt with, the code, and they'll have the resources, basically to make it easier and better. I know that there were some FUD points that were, again, FUD, or basically the principles of tragedy of the commons. Together we all going to make it. Whatever you want to call cryptocurrency, DeFi as a narrative. Instead of a central exchange, you can be the liquidity provider. You can provide the service through making your liquidity available instead of the exchange. You can be the market maker. You can be the one that bootstraps. You can be the one that finances and trades. So, like, part of the, Richard or OA had this massive amount of treasure chest that could have been deployed and put as liquidity to make this all seamless and user experience, quicker, maybe in some people's view painless. Well, that isn't DeFi. And the pseudo anonymity qualities of blockchain transactions is you don't know who's on the bridge now. You don't know who that $25 million bridging across from Ethereum belongs to. It could be every participant, it could be single or, entity and daughter addresses and obfuscated or whatever, but you don't know. And it kind of goes back to the same thing we've heard for many years. Where did the ETH go? Where did the lemons go when people were streaming on different platforms? Like, the nature of DeFi is pseudo anonymity, barn raising. Everybody chooses to volunteer and lift up the building in a barn raise, or they can kind of fake it and they can say, well, I'm not really going to put any energy in. I'm just going to stand here and look like it by holding my hands up. Like, that is the nature of this thing. So I think Richard's done amazing. I think that he's walking the landmines that are constantly being relocated in regulation and government rule. And I think that the platform is doing exactly as it was designed to do, with rollout as appropriate to keep things sticky and engaging over the next 18 months. 18 to 24 months is basically the way I see the ramping up and ratcheting of value on all of these things on the DEX or on the chain.
Yeah,
So what
yeah,
were
that's a good point.
so we should maybe just like, because I've already sent a few transactions too, but they were more tester transactions. But I'm gonna guess that I might just like, I did sacrifice a good amount for everything, so it's like I don't feel left behind, and I ratio traded like a little fucking degen, and
Yeah,
but I'm gonna just probably just wait, and I'm not nervous at all. I've thought this has all been very interesting. I'm extremely interested. I'm learning a lot, and I'm having fun, and I'm learning about business and frustration and like how to fix problems. And it's just been a good, to me, I know people are upset because people told their wives, this is why you don't get married. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But in
No,
general,
good point.
if you have a significant other and you drop a fat load of money onto something, that's going to be a talking point. And I don't have one of those. So I can imagine the stress within the family situation, but it's generally like I like to think that most people that are in stressful situations got the ball rolling themselves in some way. And I just over the last couple years or a year and a half, really telling people not to spend what they're not willing to like literally not deal with. And but I've so far as everything's concerned, from my perspective, just chilling at my computer, this has been fantastic. I've thought it was awesome the whole time. When I got my coins, I was happy like a schoolgirl. The incentive token has been fun. The airdrop was pretty smooth. And the bridging, of course, like, I mean, there was a time when ETH was out and it was like clogging the bridges and no one was even using that shit. And everyone was calling me a pleb for using it. But I was doing it because it was fun. But even any activity, I can't imagine the amount of people flooding through this because they think that somehow, some way, they are going to make $1 million for the first time if they just jam that button as hard as they freaking can. I think it's just a good exercise in patience too. Like if you're in here and you're really thinking like I could be missing the opportunity of a lifetime if I don't click these buttons fast enough, the truth of the matter is you need to like you need to take it easy and you need to realize that like if this is an experiment, this is DeFi, this is either going to work out long term and create adoption, which is community related, or it's not. And I'm betting that it is. I've been enjoying everything that's going on so far. And, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to hold off on sending any more money through because I obviously am still on receiving transaction as well. So, but I want to send a bunch of ETH through. Like, that's all I want to do. So just from my user point of view, someone who already has a bunch of the shit, like I want, I want to send more ETH through. You only live once, baby.
That's funny. I noticed we've got a few people holding their hand up right now, so I'll get to you guys in just a second. I just wanted to point out one thing on here, which I think is interesting. Now, I don't know if this is the final figure, but when I look at that bridge, it only appears that like just over 8,000 transactions has gone through on it, which doesn't seem like a high number. So I'd be curious to know if anyone is aware of like more transactions than that. But when I look at that contract address on the one that Richard put out as the bridge, it doesn't appear that there's actually that many transactions going through. So I find it a bit weird that it ended up getting clogged
There's
up.
more than one
So
address, though. He's put out like 7 or 8 addresses of different nodes. Is that what you're saying? Or is that different? The contract is different than the node validator, so I'm not sure.
This is the address that's basically collected all of the money. So it's got like, I don't know, 26 million or $30 million in it, something like that. When I look at that address and it's the total transactions that have been, kind of deposited into that, it looks like there's only been 8,100 and something, which doesn't seem like a lot. But I am curious if there's more than one address. But this has got like DAI, Hex, Ethereum, Wrapped Ethereum, all sorts of like mad stuff in it. So it would be interesting to know, but that doesn't actually seem like a high number if that is the case.
Is that the website that shows how much has been claimed out of what has been sent? Is that the same thing? I can't remember what the website was.
No, it's just the Ethereum address. Let me bring it back up real quick now. It is the address that is OX1715 and it ends in 10D. It currently has $27 million of tokens in it. This is everything from, I don't know, Hex, DAI, USDC, Hedron, Shiba Inu, Pulse Bitcoin, Zen, all sorts of stuff in there. It looks like people are trying to bridge that. I think that's like the holding address for the bridge. And it says here 8,170 transactions. And earlier on, when I checked it as well, it was only at like 5,000 when the bridge, the news came out, bridge is clogged. So I went and had a look. And I would like to know if anyone has like a different place for me to get this data. But if that is the case, it seems like an awfully low number to be getting clogged up on. But just my 2 cents on that one. We've got a few people with their hands up just here. So obviously, if anyone has anything to say about that particular point, jump in now. If not, I'm just going to hand off. So I'll just give you guys a second. No, okay, right, cool. So we've got in the chat here, we've got cakemakercody.eth. How you doing, bro? He doesn't appear to be there, so let's just move on to Vic of DeFi. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm great. How you doing?
Doing fabulous, sir. Fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah, fabulous. Well, I was scrolling through Twitter and I just came across this project and I just joined the space over here. And although I went through the project and I discovered you are trying to build a decentralized exchange, right?
So are you referring to PulseX or 9-inch?
9 inch, yeah, 9 inch.
Yes, sir. How can I help?
All right, so I discovered you are building a DEX on the PulseChain, right?
And Ethereum.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the theory is.
Yeah.
By the way, dude, just when you're not talking, will you just mute your mic? So you can check in?
You mean me?
Yeah, you, sir.
I should mute my mic.
Yeah, you're giving lots of echo.
Just when you're not talking. Sorry, I don't know who muted everyone. Yeah, so just when you're not talking, so like unmute yourself to talk and then mute it again because we're all echoing when you when we reply to your questions. But yeah, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself now if you want to talk.
I believe the question he asked was regarding 9-inch and what it is, and we'll be talking about that later on. But just so we're not losing the topic we talked about before, regarding PulseChain being what it is right now, as of this state, people in the chat, do you think we should like keep promoting PulseChain to outsiders at this moment, or should we maybe take a step back, let the dust settle, and then talk more and try to create more PulseChain awareness in a couple of days or weeks, or when everything is just
that's an interesting question. I'd be keen to hear what Gary has to say about that. Actually,
Ask the question again. What was the narrowed question?
he was basically asking because PulseChain is it's not broken, but it's a bit inaccessible currently. Should we still be going out and promoting it to people whilst it's in the state, or should we wait a few days until the dust settles before we do it?
Well, what is their expectation? If their expectation from Ethereum experiences, I haven't looked at what the price is to do a trade or set liquidity or launch NFT. I don't know on Ethereum, but like I think that there's websites that show that. So if there's still transactions happening on Ethereum, you can. I personally would say there's a method to bridge. The bridge has a lot of traffic on it right now. Maybe it's a good opportunity to learn about what PulseChain is, how it differs, or how it's similar to your Ethereum experience, and still promote. I mean, we promoted for 2 years PulseChain and PulseX anyway. So like stopping because there's starting to be flow from outsiders into the ecosystem that just launched, less than 96 hours ago. That doesn't make sense. The Twitter space from last night had 3,500 or so live listeners. The YouTube streams and things like that are super engaged right now. There's Bitcoin Miami happening in a couple of days. Like, no, why would you stop? Maybe you can be better about informing and saying, here's what you've got available on the fork system state of Ethereum. Do you have NFTs? Do you have smart contracts that you or your team developed? Here are the dApps that are engaging and providing services on PulseChain that also provide services on Ethereum. Do you like your code? Do you have a logo? Do you have a brand? Do you have a community? Did you know that you have a whole new playground available to you? So, the FOMO element is, I see people getting upset that they spent 1,000 PLS. And that's the same people that if they did participate in sacrifice, that's 10 cents. If there's narrative around it's too expensive and people can't do math, like Eric Wall did math saying it was like $100 transactions. Show me the $100 transaction, my friend. That's not true. So some of this stuff is just like informing, politically savvy conversation, whatever kind of marketing. And if nothing else, to say it's available, check back in 3 months.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for that. That's great. The one thing that I'm afraid of is people having a bad first experience and then making them not want to learn more about the thing.
Sure. So if they have a great
potentially,
first experience on Ethereum, and they have a great experience minting an NFT, engaging with OpenSea, security as a model. Can you shut your mic off while I'm speaking? You've got a lot of static.
Sorry.
If they have a great, amazing experience and the only difference is price, then you can just say, hey, there's some bumps in the road of this rolling out, and the trade-off of your experience, user interface, engagement, whatever you want to stall or time delay, whatever you want to call it, in this congestion of a launch, is price. That's the difference. You want to do something on Ethereum, $10, $5, $20. I haven't looked. Whatever it is as far as the price during a bear. Here is the differential in price. Here's your participation in price. And when they say, man, it costs me $100 to put it into the bridge. Okay, that is Ethereum, because one side has a transaction cost that you're thinking of in dollars in Ethereum gas, and the other side has a receiving transaction that you're thinking of in gas that has a price point of pennies. So just keep it in perspective when informing people. Don't say mistruths. Don't say half truths. Don't make it more than it really is. To make it more grand and feed the FOMO. That's not necessary. We've got an amazing community. We've got amazing products. We've got amazing code, and honestly, evolution and all of these things. I see Jack's in the space. Jack was in the space the other day, and with Eric having conversation, and both of them I thought were saying something about forced evolution in cryptocurrency. If you think that that's good, this is a forced evolution of cryptocurrency. BRC20s, ordinals, Zen, all these things are basically catalysts, simply catalysts for people to figure it out. What do you like in your society? What do you not like in your society? How do you want things to transact? How do you want to market or frame the benefit or trade opportunities in crypto? These are just thought-provoking and engaging with new audiences opportunities.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Hey, Hexy.
Go on.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've just seen that we've got a chap called Tooth Cry who's had his hand up patiently for the last 15 minutes. Tooth Cry, do you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I will comment on what Gary just said. Maybe it's a question for Gary and for the odds also. But I mean, the issue that I see for now is that the external people, that didn't sacrifice for PLS, maybe they did sacrifice for PulseX, but they didn't for PLS. They will have to buy wrapper PLS on Uniswap and then bridge it into the bridge. With the new tweet of Richard Hart, I would assume that They are working on something like when you send on the bridge the wrapper PLS, you will get directly PLS. So actually, it's not like a circle loop, and then you will be able to buy PLS with it. The issue is that you're gonna pay Ethereum fees two times. You're gonna pay Ethereum fees maybe $100 to $200 in order to pay to actually pay for the wrapper pulse, and then once you are on the bridge, also bridging from Ethereum chain to PulseChain, you will have to pay Ethereum fees. So don't you think, Gary, that this is actually could be an issue to external people coming to PulseChain?
Potentially, Gary might not be
Oh,
hearing us
sorry.
now. I have thought of. Sorry, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I thought I was speaking, but I forgot. I didn't have that, had it mic muted. So do you think that the same issue of on Ethereum as a gas cost expense is the inspiration for development of layer two? Optimism, I think optimism is layer two, I'm not really sure. Matic, Polygon, all those narratives, right? Like come over here and transact for cheaply, and then when you want to go back across into Ethereum to exit into dollar, that's a route. Like I think it's expensive to go into Coinbase back in 2017, but I would send over to Binance and KuCoin for the experience on those platforms, and then to exit back out, I had to come back through Coinbase. Like the cost when you were just saying about it would be expensive to send across the bridge in Ethereum gas to into PulseChain, and then are you there for 10 minutes? Are you there for 3 months? Like how long is your economic energy in PulseChain before you say I need to go across the bridge, assuming that there's not direct route into fiat coming, right, directly linking into PulseChain, but assuming that you want to return across that bridge into Ethereum to exit into dollar or exit into other ERCs and NFTs and things like that, yeah, you're going to have Ethereum cost depending on the congestion and traffic on the Ethereum network. So I don't see it as any different than the value proposition that Matic has or Polygon has had, as or L2s on other blockchains have.
But usually that blockchains actually were maybe on sex listing, so people could buy them directly. Because my problem is not from exiting Pulse chain from the bridge to Ethereum chain for other ERC20 tokens. My problem is with onboarding new people at the beginning for a buy pressure or for buying Pulse chain at the beginning or for no sacrifice. So they don't have PLS, so they will need to buy PLS. So the only way to buy PLS for fees or to hold PLS, they may buy just PLS for fees to buy Hex on blockchain. So imagine they don't have fees, so the only way is to actually pay wrapper pulse on Uniswap, which will cost them maybe $100, maybe more, and then they need to bridge that wrapper pulse to actually pulse chain. So I'm talking about the actually input here into pulse chain, not the output. So the input could cost some money, which is an amount that could be really important for the new onboardings, and that will maybe bring an onboarding, a difficult onboarding for the new people.
Yeah, I mean, I remember this on Matic. That's why I'm using it as a reference most of the time. So I remember people saying, "Wow, I'm going to go over to this low transaction cost platform as an L2, and we're going to set Hex as a liquidity pair with something else on that Matic before it was Polygon experience." And then people said, "Man, it's taking like a whole day. It takes forever for it to go across the bridge and yada yada." I remember that. And I remember that people said, "Hey, there's not much liquidity over here. Like I'm having a lot of slippage because I want to buy, $1,000 worth, and it slips 30% or whatever." Right? Those are the birth of any new platform. Doesn't matter. And now people are super happy in some ways with Matic and all these other, or Polygon and all these other L2 kind of narratives. So there's incentive. People, we have talked a lot, and Richard highlights it, and we highlight it to a degree, that economic energy coming from Ethereum going on to lower transaction cost if you want to put it in dollars or pennies or euro, or how much gas per transaction, if it's gas efficient or not, like the the opportunity is there for right now. I think bootstrappers, LPs. I think that the opportunity is, if you're going to set it and forget it. Like I have 19 transactions that happened within the first 10 hours of PulseChain being live. Part of it was security, just distributing my own wallets to other wallets, other security elements. Part of it was setting LP between PLS and PLSX, and just letting it be there, because that opportunity of it being ratio trading that everybody loved to talk about was also an opportunity where it was not taxable. It wasn't a taxable event to set these things in position. And then they are spewing out, incentive token, maybe they'll have a PRT token in the future that has some kind of narrative around its value. And currently a single incentive token is around $30. And I don't mean like copies of PRC 20 versions of the stables. I'm saying they're worth that in DAI. They're worth, they range between 20, and certain times you can snipe and have one incentive token for like 100 DAI, like one incentive token, right? So like these are the opportunities of launch. It is the land grab. It is the gold rush. Some people are going to focus on, I'm going to sell pickaxes. Some people are going to say, I hit the mother load, and someone will say, man, I went bust because I didn't plan well. I was in the FOMO pants, whatever it is, right? So informing people is useful. Community building is useful. Right now, I think, and I know that there's a lot of liquidity coming from PulseChain into Ethereum so that it can be set as liquidity for Ethereum versions of USDC or TUSD or a DAI or whatever it is, because some people want to trade these things just like they do Pepe, just like they do SHIB, just like they do anything any other ARB on the platforms of Uni or the aggregators, and set limit orders and have all the functionality and the familiar experience on Ethereum. And some of those people are never going to come over to PulseChain, and there's no problem with that. They already trade all kinds of stuff on the network that they hold. So liquidity will come across in the form of PLSX that's wrapped, PLS that's wrapped, Hex, PulseChain versions of Hex paired on Ethereum with Hex pools there on Ethereum. So like that is what is happening. The ecosystem is developing. The liquidity is being set by different players. They're bootstrapping. They even, like I said, as far as tax position, maybe they never remove liquidity. Like a lot of us like to set liquidity, pull it back out, yada, 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 and kind of do the Wild West thing about it. But some people are also, set it and forget it. Like myself, I care to set it and forget it. I'll check on it every 6 months. That's fine. It's going to spew out what it's going to spew out. But like, I think of myself, and many of us in this room think of ourselves as bootstrappers. We're bootstrappers on community. We're bootstrappers on communication. We're bootstrappers in finance. We pushed up the price so that Hex did hit its all-time high. Like there's narrative and there's the user experience that is developing on PulseChain.
Yeah, thank you. Don't you think, since we have the bridge, don't you think that we already have the wrapper PLS on Uniswap, so we can see if there is a liquidity or not?
Say that again.
Don't you think that we already have rapid PLS on Uniswap now? Or are they scam tokens?
I know that I saw some different tweets, and I saw something maybe your friend Somi had put out, but I don't know of other tweets about like what is actually on Uni. Do a search for the contract and see if it is. I haven't looked. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for your question there, Tooth Crypto. Is it Tooth Crypto? Did you bring your name up? Yeah, Tooth Crypto. Pito down. Yeah, thank you for the question, man. It was a really good one. I see Pito down there. You've had your hand up for a while. How you doing?
I'm fine, and I'm happy to talk. I like to say something. I don't sacrifice for PLS, but when I sacrifice for PLSX, I bought many colleagues and friends. But look the situation. I'm happy for the people who sacrifice for PLS. I sacrifice for PLSX, I have millions of PLSX, many copies, but I can do nothing. I can do nothing. Look, the sacrifice addresses for PLSX because I have on board many people. The organization know who had sacrificed for PLSX. Is no possibility to send for every people who sacrifice for PLSX because it's sacrifice also, but they can do nothing. If there is a solution, because they also sacrifice. If there is a solution, I'm happy to hear because it's in the system, all the sacrifice addresses. And
Yeah,
he have many copies. If it's possible to send some PLS, I will be very happy, and my colleagues and all the other peoples I have worked on in the PLSX.
Yeah, so there's a Telegram room that's available. Do your own research about it. I haven't heard anything negative about it. You would be basically doxing your address. I know that before there was tax implication for me, I was giving away PLS so that people could just do their transactions, even when it was high, as far as the 1,000 PLS in order to transact or something like that, just so people could have something. But now I have a tax dilemma about it having a fair market value, since there is a bridge that bridges to Ethereum now. So there is a Telegram room. The Telegram room does offer, basically to send you enough PLS to function. There are faucets. The faucets right now, out of the goodness of their heart, it's Vincent and it's what is it called? Pulse. Was it called Pulse something IO or whatever? I can't remember the name of the ramp, but it's
Free
Free
Pulse.
Pulse. So Free Pulse, and that's basically somebody that's just giving away through a faucet to bootstrap the network. So I hear your frustration. There is a Telegram room. The Free Pulse I think it's functional.
Is that live on mainnet?
I understand the point. But I have frustration also from friends coming on me on work. I have break. I want to talk something else. They come talk over PulseX and so it's not nice. But the technology we have now, and with AI bot, you have all the PulseX sacrifice addresses. It's easy to send to all because it's too much work. I send them to Telegram group. They come in the second break, come tell to me. It's not nice. I bought people and he have copies of the PLS. He can send to every PLSX sacrifices because the people who sacrifice for PLS, they are happy because they have, but all my friends, my colleagues, is not nice. And the technology we have now, AI, everything is possible. Don't tell me it's not possible. The
My
sacrifice
friend, can
addresses
I just
is
say
in the
something?
system.
yeah.
You,
It
you,
is
you,
possible, it's possible. Will be very nice. It's the technology. I'm very happy to speak. I
so
am happy for every people, but have people, other people, this not happy. I'm bored them, and now every break and friends come telling me it's not nice.
okay, look,
But
listen now. Like, there is 140,000 other people in your situation, or we don't know if it's that many people. At least it's that many wallets that is in the same situation. So at least you're not alone, right? So imagine like when there is a natural catastrophe or something, like you cannot be the only one. Like, hey, why is this happening to me and my friends? Like, it's happening to all of us as a community. This is what you got into. It was a sacrifice, and if you don't know the term of what a sacrifice is, like you give up something. So this is what happened, and this is. I don't say it's good that like people can't bridge back and forth, but it's not a permanent problem either. So if you just take a chill pill, like let it go a few days, I'm sure you and all your friends you onboarded, all of you guys will be able to transact freely very soon.
And add to that, actually, every PLS holder will get diluted in case that actually they send you PLS. So at the end, it's not possible because it's deflationary. So, I mean, there is no solution for that, unfortunately.
Well, there is.
Thank you. Thank you. I
You
understand.
guys are pretty tough.
I'm normal. I can live with it. But is the people I bought on come complain to me and I don't feel nice about it. But it's understandable. I tell them patient is the key. Wait for the bull run. You will be happy.
Yep,
Yeah,
that
can I
must be
just
terrible.
add
2
something
years.
here real quick? Is what Gary said at the beginning there, as soon as you asked your question, Peter, is that there are a lot of guys that have got faucets available so you can get PLS, so you have enough to transact with. Okay, so what you need to do, for example, I know Pulse POT, those guys, Jacob behind that, set up a faucet where all you have to do is go into the Telegram, paste an address, and they'll send you 2,500 pulse, which should be enough for you to go and send all your transactions. So I would just go for that. Like this issue you've got, there are people in the community trying to help. So go find PulsePot, ask those guys what to do, and they will point you in the right direction so that you can get enough pulse to at least transact with. So that will solve your problem. Honestly, it's nothing to
Thank you,
panic.
thank you, thank you. And also, for every people who are helping, every people, the community, also thank you to them. It's not me. I'm happy. I know the cycle every 4 years. I know bull run, but it's more my friends. I talk for them. Let me. I'm happy. I know the situation. I am patient. I wait for the bull run, but too many people complaining. My message is too full, but also I'm happy for the other people. So happen other keep on the good work, and patient is the key. Wait for the bull run.
Absolutely,
Thank
absolutely.
you,
Yep.
Peter.
Just real quick, so I noticed we've got Tangent in the house. It's not like him to be quiet. How you doing, man?
Yo, hello. I really just came up to mention to you, you may or may not have already noticed on Dex Screener, when you look at all the pairs that are on PulseChain, there's an unknown Dex, which I assume is yours, because one of the coin pairs there is PP. And I was just going to bring that to your attention, that you might want to contact them and let them know that that's yours, or there might be a form to fill out, or maybe you're already aware of it.
Yeah, so someone messaged me about this earlier. So 9-inch is not live yet. So unless it's picking up our testnet, which is on Sepolia, there's there's no way it
Oh,
can
that's
be
weird as
open.
shit. Because one
It's
of the
not live.
Jackson noticed.
Well,
Jackson noticed that one of the
Rackham
coins
was
was
building a
PP, so we
Dex
definitely
also.
assumed it was yours.
Rackham was building a Dex also.
Yeah, but there's
Okay,
nothing
cool.
live. So I find it weird that it's appearing there because it's not live. So yeah, weird, definitely weird. And someone texted me actually because they were watching your show earlier with Jexa, and he was like, "Hey, you need to contact Dex Screener." I'm like, "Why? We've not even launched yet. I don't get it." So, but yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing that up.
All good. And then the other thing I was going to mention is that, earlier you were talking about the contract address that you're looking at. That sounds legit because the total value that you're seeing matches in with what Richard Hart said was still waiting in the bridge. So I think that does sound like it's the whole, you're looking at the whole thing. And look, 8,000 transactions can quickly add up to that kind of money if some of them are on the larger side, because some people might be like, you could have someone doing a mil just in one transaction, but then like a few, but you know what I mean? The distribution could be such that 8,000 transactions, 20 something mil, that sounds legit.
So on that, like, I'm glad you cleared that up. So on does that not sound like a low number? 8,000 people trying to, because I thought like the gates would just be flooded. People, there would be a ton of people trying to get in. Like,
hundreds of thousands, potentially different wallets trying to get in and do stuff. And obviously, I mean, there's a lot of hype around it and stuff like that. And maybe it's because they've seen that the transactions were stuck, or maybe people are holding off because it's a new group and they don't want to risk the hack. But like, what's your take on all of that?
I would say that people got scared once people started saying that the shit wasn't going through, and also, so a combination of people worrying that they're going to lose their funds because they're hearing reports that it's not going through, plus people seeing Richard saying, recommending that directly that people kind of back off while it's congested. Those two things together could definitely be a factor. Like, I definitely would have used the bridge more by now myself. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just to fill in on what Tangent said about the other decks appearing on Deck Screener, I think that is Uniswap on PulseChain. So it's the Uniswap contract basically that got forked over.
Yeah, mad. All right, cool.
Wouldn't it show up then? Wouldn't it say that it's Uniswap? Like, wouldn't they be able? You know, it's just weird that it says unknown
But
decks.
it's not really it's the PulseChain's version of Uniswap. So I think somebody have to contact Deck Screener and tell them like this is the Uniswap. This is like a P-Uniswap router basically. So I know there is PLD
Yeah, fair.
liquidity on the same decks as well, and it's on Uniswap basically, but on PulseChain.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of new charts popping up thanks to PulseChain. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And with the buy and burn, let those bots arbitrage in between those dexes. I mean, it's gonna be good for us.
Actually, that definitely does make sense, because you know how Alex makes the Hedron front end always able to access the Uniswap, protocol each time that a new chain launches. So that almost certainly is it.
I think all the aggregators and all the coin comparison websites and all of this, they've got a lot of work to do over the next week or two, trying to piece all this. I mean, imagine all the pairs on Ethereum now need to have a new version of it added, and then they need to set the APIs up, and they need to do all this, that, and the other. It's going to be a lot of work for these guys, so it will take some time before everything gets sorted out. Also, there's going to be some guys that don't want to support it and some guys that do, so you're going to get a bit of that. I just want to just go back a little bit. So one of the things that came up earlier, that chap who came up asking the questions, I can't send my funds because I have no pulse. The thing that solves this, honestly, and I know a lot of hexagons are going to hate it because they don't like them, but we need a listing on a centralized exchange. If you can get listed on, say, a Coinbase, a Kraken, a Binance, wherever, if you can go and put fiat in, and then, or even just other crypto in, send it to your exchange, swap it to Pulse, and then send that directly to a new wallet or to your existing wallet on PulseChain, that literally solves all the problems that you're facing. You don't really need to use a bridge. You can just swap directly in. And again, I know hexagons as such generally don't like centralized exchanges, but they can be quite useful if they're used in the right way. If you just put your money on and then send it straight off, you're not really exposed to much counterparty risk, as long as you've tested it with a test transaction or something. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that. Like, do we think that Pulse is going to get listed on a centralized exchange relatively soon?
But actually, isn't this kind of like what everybody's kind of suffering from just now? Everybody's been they've been told to come in with no expectations, and unfortunately, everybody's come in with 2 years worth of expectations. And I don't think there was any way that this could have gone like completely smoothly at all. Not when you're rolling out something of this scale. And I think actually the best way to deal with it is a lot of the things that actually are happening, where the ecosystem's just being left to work itself out, and that's going to take time. That's what I really believe, and I believe the large exchanges will be sitting and watching and waiting when to make their move. That's kind of what I think is going to happen in regards to that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. It does. We do need time for the dust to settle. I know we've been waiting 2 years. We can wait a couple of weeks for everything to iron itself out. Yeah, absolutely. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up tonight as well was the ratio between the PulseX and PulseChain. Now, I haven't been watching this like a hawk, but when I have looked at it, it's looking like you're getting four PulseX for one pulse. I could do with having a quick check on there now as to what it is, but a lot of the time when I'm looking, it's around that figure. Does anyone have any thoughts about that? Does that seem like a fair value considering the amount of extra people that came in on PulseX that are doing the ratio trades? What do we all think about that?
Can you say the question again? I don't know.
I was just asking about the ratio between Pulse and PulseX. So when I was looking earlier, it was between, it was roughly 0.25 of a pulse per PulseX. That's 4-1, essentially. I'm going to have a look now. 1 second. Doesn't want to come up for me. Right, I can't see it because I'm on my phone, so I can't get the chart up. But earlier on, when I was looking, you could get 4 PulseX for one pulse. So you need 4 pulse for one PulseX for one pulse.
Yeah, it's
token.
1 to 3.72 right now. I just looked.
Okay, cool. So it's been hovering around that sort of area. Like, do we think that's a relatively fair value? Do we think it's going to go down or up, or what are our thoughts around the room just on that one?
Well, I think that the narrative in my head, my investment thesis is the first thing people understood is PLS. The idea, even though it said a lot about buy and burn, and you can see something like 12 billion has been burned of PLSX because of activity in the ratio and current trade. That's going to be it's kind of consensus if I look at YouTubers and content creators that they think that that's a delayed realization kind of thing, that someone buying 600,000 to $1 million and then burning of the supply every day of trade and then burning it is a powerful narrative. I think that even when they're displaying what the validators have earned in dollar value, if you said that there's an assignment of 10,000 PLS equaling $1, or relevant to hex, as I've seen people theorize the value of a PLS, is validators have earned something like 300 million, whereas I can't remember what the number is, but something along the lines of a 4-1 deflation, I guess, or decrease in supply of PLSX versus PLS. So like, people are going to have their theme, they're going to have their thinking, they're going to try to be contrarian. Right now, I think that the majority of participants are thinking that PLS, being 40,000 sacrificers, PLS being necessary as exampled through the, how do I bridge things across and do a single transaction? Even 1,000 PLS being burned during the congestion to do a transaction. Like, that's a powerful narrative, and I don't think that that's going to stop for the next 3 months, maybe 4 months, 6 months, and then there's going to be enough like observation where people see a decreasing supply narrative in PLSX, or the price is always ratcheting up. Even during bear market, it would ratchet up probably faster in its narrative marketing, supply replenishment, things like that, than PLS. So I think it's just a delay. I think right now the market is, in general, mispricing, and they're mispricing by overestimating the value of something and underestimating the value of something else. And no one knows for sure what that ratio should be, because these are intangibles being compared with each other and traded with each other. So long answer to say, it's just the nature of the launch and the nature of the realization. When people are looking at charts, it's going to have an impact on their psychology. and popular YouTubers and content creators and Twitter Space hosts are going to feed part of that narrative for engagement or for price impact.
Yep, fair enough. Tangent, eager to hear your thoughts on this ratio. Like, where do you think it's going to land? What do you think is going to happen in the distant future?
I'm not so much concerned about the ratio as I am about just I'd like to see the dollar value of both of them being over the sack rate, like over the base sack rate. So I don't really care what happens to the ratio between them, but I would like for neither of them to be below sack rate by the time that people can actually purchase them, which I think is plausible. I mean, we're already seeing the price of PLS over on the ETH chain sort of fluctuating between sort of 2 and 3 times the sack rate, which means even if that ratio that you're talking about was maintained, we're assuming that you can, that will port across in terms of that market being the more realistic market, then you've already got PLS roughly back up to sack rate. So I don't think it's unrealistic to hope for what I'm saying here. And that would be good because it just means that no one's going to have a sour taste in their mouth that they, pre-purchase something 2 years early to end up having people being able to buy it for a cheaper price now.
So I'm looking right
Absolutely.
now at the DEX, and at the DEX, if I put in 10,000 PLS, which is effectively only $1, it's hardly anything, right? Sacrificers got 10,000, maybe they got volume multipliers, but let's just say 10,000 PLS is currently for wrapped USDC that is already across the bridge and sitting in liquidity is $1.97. So that's a 2x. Your dollar became $2. You're going to have transaction costs, slippage, and things like that. But let me just do 10 times that. So $10. $10 worth of
So
$10.
which chain are you on, Gary?
I'm on the
Are you talking about ETH chain or Pulse?
I'm on PulseChain's exchange right now. So 100,000 PLS, which is effectively $10 worth sacrificed, is $19. $10 is $19 in USDC, wrapped USDC.
Oh, so it's already a 2x.
Yes, it's already a 2x. Now you'll start getting
Nice.
slippage as you say, well, I want to take out $1,000. What is that? You're going to get you're going to go underneath your sack price for 10 million PLS. That would be $822 because you're going to eat about 50% in slippage. So liquidity as it comes across the bridge, as bootstrappers, people that are going to set it there for a long period enough to basically get to equilibrium and worthwhile to do the liquidity adding and liquidity pulling game, they're the ones that are going to provide liquidity for people to get a quote unquote price. Before you had a ton of slippage. Now you've got a little bit less slippage. So, you want to make your $10 into 20, you can do it now. You want to make your $100 into 180, you can do it now. You want to do more than that, you're going to start eating slippage, 15, 20, 30% right now.
Not what you're saying still applies sort of, but I was more talking about it from the buy side. You're talking about it from the sell side. So you're talking about people trying to take profit. I'm talking about people who are coming in to buy and being able to, whether they are able to or not able to buy at or low, like at approximately the same or lower than the sack price. And my expectation is that they won't be able to. That's my expectation, prediction, and hope. But yeah, like similar idea, like you're still demonstrating the slippage, but you're just doing it in the opposite direction of what I was talking about.
Yeah. So right now, if someone wants to take wrapped USDC that they put across the bridge, now it sits in PulseChain network, then $100, let's say $10 worth of USDC would buy 47 dollars worth of the sack rate. So so like you said, they're underneath on the chart, right? Because you're saying, oh wow, if I took $10 times 10,000, then that would be 100,000 PLS I should be able to get on the sack, right? So currently, people are going to push the price if they start to buy more than $10 worth. Let's say, what if they want to buy $1,000 worth? Does that sound reasonable? Someone coming across the bridge, the tribulation of paying Ethereum
Yeah,
gas.
that would be pretty common.
Yeah, so if you said it's
For someone wanting
$1,000,
to grab about a grand.
yeah, so $1,000 worth of USDC would buy 2.8 or 2.9 million PLS. So do the math on that. Because they are slipping the price up, price impact is 41%. So as appetite and buying pressure pushes the price, you're going to see things change.
It's mad
that's already good news. That's all good news.
I was just gonna say it is mad that there's that much slippage. I know no dollars have like gone over there yet, but it's crazy that to sell $1,000 you take 50% slippage at the moment.
Right. So
that's
this is before there's any pairing. Like a DAI, what is not a DAI? An incentive token. What is it worth? A single incentive token that might have been from PLS, PLSX. Even the ratio trading was doing it all along since it went live. So one incentive token is $11 worth of PLS on SAC. So one incentive token, because it's 116,000 PLS. One incentive token is, if it's in PLSX, is 432,000 PLSX. So like, it's just perspective on how you're, and that's not really moving the price. It's like a small price impact. So as people bring things across, look at my copies of let me look at my copies of PP. Let me comment about PP. So I've got copies of PP and copies of PP. If I were to sack all of my PP, it's 8.1 million PLSX. It's 2.2 million PLS. Like, that's just the copy of a PRC20 meme, right? So people have buying power. They have buying power that they didn't have before the launch of the coin. Of the blockchain. They have everything that's ERC20 that is buying power. It's buying power. Whether you say little or a lot, doesn't matter. It's buying power. And all of these things will ratchet the price on the things that are being talked about the most, which is right now PLS, and probably in a few months PLSX will take over a narrative, and then probably a year from now Hex will take over narrative because people will have made mad gains, OG, blah, blah, blah. I've been talking about Hex for 4 or 5 years. You're going to see price movement in Hex as well. So like, that's how these markets are birthed.
Yeah, don't encourage people to dump their PP. There's no liquidity over there. Yeah.
There's zero liquidity. Let's see what I was thinking about being a liquidity. Let me see. Yeah, so you'd have some slippage. Yeah, I think you'd suffer 4% slippage on that. That little bit there.
Please provide liquidity. we have no liquidity yet. We can't get it. I'm afraid
Nice.
at the moment.
Yeah, so again,
we're a little bit stuck.
Yeah, so to say I'm going to be I'm going to set up shop in the Wild West, and I'm going to sell pickaxes and such to miners going for the gold rush. That's basically the value proposition to liquidity providers. You're either going to have the additional benefit because they're set by the DEX to generate also incentive token, right? The multipliers that'll happen, like if you're going to pair incentive token with stablecoin, right? You're going to probably get more of a multiple, but you're also going to, in some ways, suffer because you are bootstrapping, you are providing liquidity, and people are going to, in their, single level checkers game, they're going to say, look, I can cash this out for that. And it goes into a dollar in form and out into the real world. And then they'll probably stay in the casino. Like, I don't know that many people that, play in the casino. They win the very first game, and then they turn around and leave with their winnings. Like, that's not how these things work. People want a reference to dollar. They want to say, I feel rich. Instead of feeling, I feel poor. Like, they want the dopamine hit of their viewable bag relevant to what it could be traded to. So like, that's what they want. If you have a bunch of chips in the casino and you've got a full rack and you're going from blackjack to whatever other games, you feel rich until you have no more chips. Like, that's what dexes are. That's what central exchanges are. That's what trading is in general. So like, I think that the shine is definitely on Hex as well, right? Because you don't have to play all these games. I like the pitch that Hexy is doing with his decks. I want to support that decks. I think it's an interesting narrative. I can't really tell my mom about it, as far as like the marketing, but certainly meme culture, trading of one thing for another thing is part of this crypto game. These are casinos, and there's going to have to be a benefit to the liquidity providers. There's going to have to be a benefit to the marketing synergy. Like, hey, did you know that I put my meme token that just launched Thursday on your chain, your DEX, right, versus other DEXs? Like the good thing is we've got copies of everything in Ethereum. The hard thing is Richard doesn't like NFTs. Richard doesn't like trading. And the truth is price goes up because of traders. The truth is that price goes up because people think I bought something for cheap and I'm speculating it's going to be worth something more in the future, and then I'm going to trade it. That is the truth of how these things price ratchet up.
Fair point. Thank you,
Yeah,
Gary.
absolutely, man.
Mr. Scotty, I see you're lurking here to talk. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, just a quick one, really. That just to give you guys a bit of a slight heads up. I had a friend tonight who had converted $5,000 worth of hex into USDC. He then bridged it into PulseChain, and the slippage on USDC on the wrapped, obviously, USDC into PulseChain was insane. He couldn't then trade the other side for anything more than about $5 at a time. It was absolutely pointless. However, if he'd just kept his hex and not converted it and just bridged the hex in, the slippage on anything he wanted to trade for was a fraction. It was like 0.01% of a ton of coins. So if people are thinking that they're gonna game the system by bridging in USDC or DAI, etc., over hex, then they may well come unstuck. That's all. Just wanted to say.
Yeah, that's
Good point,
kind of
brother.
mental. I mean, the thing is that Hex is kind of, it's not a stable coin, but it is the most stable coin probably on PulseChain, because that's what most people have, and that's what most people are dealing with. So actually, like one of the superior plays that I seen was from the Pulse Doge guys, who we've got those guys in here tonight, where they swapped all of their liquidity from USDC and Ethereum over to Hex. So all of their liquidity, basically, apart from a little bit, was paired against Hex. So it means that there's like, it didn't get vamp attacked by the automatic market makers or the AMM, whatever it is, the bots. It didn't get vamped, and there's still pretty adequate liquidity if you're willing to swap over to if you're willing to trade from Hex to Pulse Doge or back out. So yeah, that was a killer play from those guys. So hats off to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were looking at it, and it was these guys were looking at something along the lines of 80 to 90% slippage just to move to anything else in the PulseChain ecosystem. But if you had Hex and you wanted to move into the ecosystem, then it was literally like 1% or 2%. It was crazy. So now he's planning on bridging his $5,000 back to Ethereum and then changing it back to Hex and then back again to take account of it. But obviously it's about you're looking at 12-16 hour wait for the bridge. Well, at the moment anyway. But yeah, it's just fun game theory as always, huh?
Yeah, man, I sense a lot of people are going to get wrecked just doing stuff that they think would be okay normally, and it's just not okay at the minute. That's why sitting on your hands right now is actually a good play, because I do still think that you're going to get good buying opportunity a month from now, 2 months from now. It might not be the nuclear bottom, but you're going to get good buying opportunities. You don't need to rush in and risk losing a ton of money just trying to outsmart everyone. It's never going to work. Like it just won't work. The chances of you being smarter than the other, I mean, we got some big brain motherfuckers in the Hex community and the PulseChain community. Some of these guys are so smart, it makes my brain hurt, actually. But so the idea that you're going to outsmart them because you think you've spotted a gap or whatever. I seen a story earlier about a guy that thought he'd made like 800 grand from his few $100 PulseX, and he traded it all for USDC, but it was the wrong contract. So it was the bridge, not the bridged over. It was the original USDC contract, which actually I heard, and I can't confirm this, but I heard that was actually listed on the fucking PulseX website. I might be wrong about that, so apologies if I am. But he traded it for that, and he thought he had 800 grand, and it turns out it was worth $8. It's just like, damn, bro, that sucks. That really fucking sucks. So you're better off just doing nothing at the moment, honestly. Ratio trading, cool. If you're going to go from PulseX to Pulse, if you want to secure a position that way. I mean, honestly, I would be going the other way. I would be going Pulse to PulseX right now if the ratios are that out of whack. But that's just my opinion. Never financial advice. I'm an idiot from fucking Nottingham, and I have no education. So, like, don't listen to me. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be going on a negative trade. I would only go for a positive trade, which in this case, but you can only really do that if you're someone who sacrificed for PulseChain. I'm lucky that I was one of the 40,000 wallets or so that did do that. A lot more people did PulseX, and yeah, it's just a difficult time. But honestly, if you're unsure or you have any doubt, just do fuck all and wait. You will get a buying opportunity later down the line. Once everything's there and ready to go. What I wanted to do real quick is I noticed we've got a Triplet Dad in here, part of the Magic Carpet Ride crew. I understand you guys are going to be doing a pool for 9-inch. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about all of that?
I do, but I would like to touch on, you just hit on why that ratio is what it is with Pulse to PulseX. I love Tangent and Gary's analytics. It all makes a lot of sense, their analytics, but the 40 some odd thousand wallets and the 136,000 some odd wallets that sacrifice for PulseX, that gives you a ratio of 3.3 to 1, which coincidentally is very close to your 3.7 to 1 Pulse to PulseX. There's a lot of people in this thing that have got big bags of PulseX and no Pulse. So that ratio is going to stay that way until that gets resolved. That's my opinion, at least. When it comes to our pool, we of course are going to support our brother Hexy and everybody else involved with the 9-inch protocol. We are going to do a pool for it 100%. And details on that within our room should be coming up shortly. So if you would like to partake in a Magic Carpet Ride pool, that room, I'm sure you guys know what our rooms are. Come into our Magic Carpet Ride rooms and we'll get you all sorted out. We just did our drops for PulseX not too long ago. Everybody got their tokens as far as I can tell. So I believe you, Hexy, are handling the distribution of this, so that we don't even have to do any work. It's just a pool for Magic Carpet Ride with a referral, and we're going to shoot for top wallet again.
And I hope you guys get it. Yeah, so the distribution on all of that is going to be decentralized, actually. So that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. But of course, like we appreciate you guys had the second largest SAC wallet for the Poor Pleb sacrifice. I believe you had the first largest wallet for the Liquid Loan sacrifice. There's a few more as well. You were right.
Regarding that, the Liquid Loan sacrifice tokens just went out on V4. So if there's anybody within this chat that has sacrificed through Magic Carpet Ride pool for Liquid Loans, you do have your tokens on V4 right now if you want to go play with the Liquid Loans DApp that was released the other day. Also, we did a free Pulse.io sacrifice, and one of our pools, we were sending back the copies to the people that sacked. That DAI, well, when values were at zero, was converted to 29.5 million pulse. So the people that sacrificed DAI to pool 2 will be getting a handful of pulse, and the people that sacrificed their hex to pool 2 will be getting their hex today.
And just
Big
to
cheap.
touch on the liquid loans V4, just to clarify what TD was saying, only the zero lock coins are available today.
Yeah, cool. I just think it's awesome how you guys, I mean, you've proven time and time again that you are, you know, trusting. Of course, when the poor pleb sacrifice that we did and you guys jumped in on that, and literally within about 4 days you got the second largest wallet, which is, I just find that incredible. And all the money was sent in promptly and distribution was handled nicely, and everything was just like sublimely well done. So you know, I can't actually endorse you guys, I guess, specifically, but man, I'm glad that you guys want to do a pool for 9-inch, because I mean, 9-inch is going to be a competitive one, man. Like I think this one's going to do really well, because people see like look at Gary's in the chat right here. And he's a big believer in this, actually, and I'm surprised because it's not his cup of tea, but he's smart enough to see the gap in the market, that actually we need this. We need a DEX that focuses on meme coins. We need something that's a little bit more inclusive for the other PulseChain projects. You know, we're going to get them listed easily. We're going to have all the farming pools and all of these things going really quickly. We could be a little bit more snappier when a new coin comes along, like a Pepe or a Wojak or whatever. We can spot that early and get those guys over here and encourage them to list on our decks, whether it be on Ethereum or on PulseChain. We can encourage people over here to use our decks and to benefit from the buy and burn feature, exactly the same as PulseX, but actually slightly different and slightly improved, even because we don't have the 0.01% dev fee or OA fee, whatever you want to call it. So actually it is a really positive thing just to bring more people into our ecosystem, even if they're not directly interacting with PulseChain. If they're in our community, they're going to know about it and they're going to be aware of it because all of our guys are involved in it. And we're going to have like an easy, it's not going to be a bridge, but there's going to be an easy way that you can basically connect so you can be trading on Ethereum, but there's going to be a big button or a big banner across the top, like, have you claimed your PulseChain coins? And people are going to be like, what? Click it. Oh shit, I've got like, I don't know, $1,000 worth of coins on here that I can just sell if I want. It's like free money. And then once they're in the casino, like Gary said earlier, they're in the casino, they're not going to leave because they won once. They're going to stick around a bit, man. Like, it's very rare you go casino, win, and then walk away, right? You always stick around until basically you lose all your money actually in a casino. And I hope that's not what happens to people on PulseChain, but it's just another angle to market. And this is exactly what we did with Poor Pleb. Like, we're going after a different crowd to the standard Hex PulseChain crowd. There is no point in trying to shill to people who are already in and have already bought. You need to get the new guys in one way or another. And the meme coin space is absolutely massive, and there isn't a DEX for meme coins out there at the minute, let alone a DEX with the same tokenomics as PulseX, which we can all agree are amazing tokenomics. I mean, someone mentioned earlier, what was it, like 12 billion pulse or 20 billion pulse has been burned, PulseX, sorry, has been burned already due to the buy and burn function. That's before monies even came in, guys. That's nuts. That is fucking nuts, actually. I feel like I'm babbling on a little bit here, so I'm gonna mute myself. Someone else speak.
Magic Carpet Ride will be supporting 9inch.io. We'll have some liquidity of the Magic Carpet Ride token that we currently have a SAC going on for. It's not a plug. We don't think 9inch is going to be just for meme coins. I think the other projects will adopt it. Secondary DEXs are always fast movers. They usually have a little bit higher APR than the primary DEX. And one example of that, and you use it in some of your on your site, is buy swap versus pancake swap over on BNB. BuySwap always has a little bit higher APR than PancakeSwap does for the same exact pair. So you could literally take your LP from PancakeSwap and move it over to BuySwap and get a higher APR. I love secondary dexes. I think they're going to be awesome.
Yes, it's a good point. I mean, secondary, like the second largest dexes on chain, which is exactly what we want to be, at least on PulseChain. Maybe we're in the top 5. Like that'd be a good achievement actually on Ethereum, because Ethereum's so massive already. But if we're the second largest dex on PulseChain, which I really think we're gonna be, I'm almost convinced we're going to be the second largest dex on there. Obviously it's going to take hard work and graft and all of this stuff, but if we're the second largest dex, the yield is going to be better on us, and we're going to be supporting more farms. There's going to be different options. Like you can yield farm with you can do that with Maxi, you can do it with Hedron, you can do it with Pulse Dogecoin, you can do it with Porplab, all of the favorite coins. Like if there's volume going through on our decks, you'll be able to yield farm with it, because that's we want to incentivize LP over to us, because the more LP we've got, the more buy and burn we will have. And that's all we want. We just want volume for buy and burn, because then the 9-inch token is going to be bullish as fuck. And that's it. That's it, really. Gary, I see you got your hand raised there. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think of I like that you're separating very strong with your marketing, the decks that is 9-inch, the market appetite, the meme culture. A lot of these things in cryptocurrency, the first go-to has been, it has to have utility, or the tribalism separation is, well, you're only a meme, or Hex is only a shitcoin, or whatever the narrative is by the other. So like I don't think that it's useful, and people hear me say this all the time, I don't think it's useful to basically set up fighting between the cultures. Richard has a certain culture that it spawned all of these innovators and builders to build new technologies and new opportunities. It's got to be larger. I see this. It needs to be larger than the 300,000 to 500,000 that have been inside of the ecosystem itself. Like we're in a new world where I want people to go to Las Vegas and have a good time. If they go to Las Vegas, they have a good time. Maybe they see a show, maybe they play games, they walk away. Some people are going to say, well, that person got rinsed. They got taken advantage of. They lost all their money. They shouldn't have gone to Vegas. And some degenerates are going to do that, right? For sure. I mean, that's the buildings and the wealth concentrated in Las Vegas is made from the losers, the people that lose the game, as far as the table rake. But like there's a benefit also of people having entertainment. There's a benefit of people basically having their stress relief through some kind of funny joke or whatever. So I do like the decks, mostly I would say because I like Hexy Bastard, the person. I think he's a living meme, and I like that. So I like the personality. I also respect the hardship that really the first meme in the Hex ecosystem was the co-founder, with the Pulse Doge stuff and all that. That they're lighthearted people, animators. I've talked with some of them as well, and I just like their vibe in general. I would say the same thing about people launching anything for entertainment. You make a movie, you're trying to entertain, you're trying to let people de-stress. You create some music, you create a casino. Like, they're not directly related to each other, but like humans have enough problems on their mind. And if it's a little bit of comedy and levity by buying and trading meme coins, I support that. Now, I will say that I think of the culture of PulseX and PulseChain, at least on launch, is harder for meme coins to engage. I think it'd just be in general harder. So you guys do have an opportunity, in my opinion, as far as your own marketing, your own outreach into these communities. I think that you're not that polarizing when you go into Twitter Spaces with a bunch of different PFPs, or you have your own hosting of your YouTube content about trading up and trading down, and the funny or the levity elements of meme culture. I think that that's cool. I think that's great. So I want to support it. I will say now, I will sacrifice. I will sacrifice, but it will also be from, incentive token or whatever yields and things like that, because I'm trying to support two different cultures, with a little bit of a foot in both. It's not so much about the ROI for me. It is more about like, get along, guys. Like, I think that you guys are doing positive things in general with the frame of your decks.
May I interest you in a pool, Gary, if you're going to be sacrificed?
I like my tax books being straight, so I want to be in a pool, but I do choose to be individual. But yeah, I think Triplet Dad does pretty good with his narrative too, and I like the guy as well. But yeah, for me, I just like to have my own tears to cry into if I screw things up, or my own win. But yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Just so everybody knows, I was too lazy to look it up when I came on earlier. Our Telegram room for this pool is Magic 9-inch.
I didn't
Magic
even know that's
9
what it
inch.
was.
I love that name.
It will help grow your
Oh my
PP.
God. That's fucking hilarious, man. No, it is important though. One thing you can definitely do, Gary, because we're running a referral system with our sacrifice, so you will be able to get a 10% bonus just by using a referral link, any that you choose to use. Magic Carpet will have one. Discourse Syndicate are going to have one. There's a few pretty well-known guys in the space that have asked, that I've been speaking to. So I've mentioned this before, that like there's been a lot of guys that have came out publicly in support of this and said, you know what, this is awesome, really like it, and they can see through the noise, because obviously we're getting FUD, right? Like people are like, oh, why do we need a second dex? That's stupid. I would argue that they are stupid, because the idea that a whole chain can run on one dex is just not a good idea. People don't like centralization like that. They want price options. They want to see multiple price points that they can base their, they want aggregators and things like that. How are you going to aggregate if there's no dexes to aggregate from? So we definitely need more than one dex. And I know there are a few other people building them, but our dex just goes for a completely different thing. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that there are going to be referral links, so you can get a 10% bonus on your sacrifice just by using a referral link of anyone that participates in this. But so there are people that have came out publicly in support of this, and then there's a lot of people that have been DMing. And I mean, you know this, Gary, but I'm really close with pretty much all the big hex influencers, PulseChain influencers, whatever you want to call them. I'm friendly with everyone. That's always been my thing. I'm a guy who started out this mission just trying to make it. I came in with fuck all, just trying to become a millionaire, man. That was it. Like, but then over time, I've always been a businessman anyway, and I've just spotted these little gaps in the market that need filling. And if I don't fill them, someone else will spot it and they'll do it. And I'd rather be the guy to do it, because at least people can trust me, I guess. Like, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I've always followed through with all the things I've promised. I've always followed through on them. And I'm not even promising anything, actually, but I've always been honorable in how I act and how I operate. People know who I am. They know that I'm not like a genius or anything. I'm just a funny guy who wears a stupid hat on a YouTube channel. But at the very least, I'm honest and I'm honorable. So I think that's really comes through, because I don't change my personality for this character Hexy Bastard that I've invented. It is just kind of me, but maybe a more exaggerated version of me. So I do think that, like, all these guys I'm speaking to behind closed doors, I won't mention any names, but you'll hear about it, because they'll be shilling their referral links in a week or two when we start. Well, probably less, but when we start our sacrifice, they'll be shilling their referral links, and because they want that 10% bonus. Because anything you sacrifice, you get a 10% bonus, but then they get a 10% bonus as well. So there's going to be a few whales in the system that got it just through referrals. And I think that's bullish.
Just to be clear to everybody, anybody can get a referral link. It's just not the system's there for anybody to use who wants to do it.
Is it very similar to how Hex was, that you had, basically, it's all in code. It's not like sign-ups and things like that. It's pseudo-anonymous the way that Hex was on its referrals. Is that how that works?
Exactly, Gary.
Yeah. So basically, the way it works, if you're just like, say, a random guy, and you want to create a referral link that you can share about to your friends or to anyone that you speak to, you basically, it's the same as what PulsePot used, if you're familiar with that one. But the way that works is if you sacrifice $100, in order to do this, you would have to connect your wallet to get your referral link. But you don't have to connect your wallet to sacrifice. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just send money directly to the address. But if you do want the referral link, you would have to connect your wallet, make your sacrifice. It has to be a minimum of $100, and then you can get a referral link. Now, I actually did the PulsePot sacrifice. I sacrificed literally $101 because that's kind of. I actually initially only sacrificed like $50, but then they said no, you need 100 for the referral link. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I did another $50. And then I made like nearly $1,000 worth of that thing off my referral link. So I made 10x what I put in off my referral link. And all I did was I didn't even shill it like blatantly on my. I'm not a referral link kind of guy. I wouldn't be on every stream like, oh my God, buy it. You know, like here's my referral link. I just mentioned it like 3 or 4 times and then messaged it to a few people directly that I knew would be interested in it. And I made $1,000 off of that $100 investment. So I don't even know what price is done with that. As soon as I received the token, I just staked it and forgot about it. And I'm not going to revisit it for a while. And I think that a lot of people in this system as well, because let me just remind you guys that when 9inch comes out, there is not going to be much dump pressure, in my opinion, because the most yield that you will ever get on the platform is right at the beginning. So if you get your 9inch tokens and immediately stake them or use them for liquidity farming or single-sided staking, whichever you want to do, you will get the best possible ROI for the first few weeks after launch. So it's not a good idea to dump them. So I don't think it's going to come out with massive dump pressure. It's actually going to be bullish, and new protocols that want to be listed on there, like the more popular we become, the more new protocols are going to want to be listed, the more they're going to want to use that 9inch token as a DAO to vote up yield on their projects. So it's actually, because we're going to be very inclusive, we are going to allow people to set up yield farms and things like that. But the only way that they can actually get good yield on those yield farms is by voting up the token on the platform using the 9inch DAO token. So actually, in the long, we've thought about this long and hard, mind the pun, but we've thought about this long and hard about like how we're going to make this bullish in the long term. So not only have we got buy and burn, we've got buy pressure from any new protocol that comes along that wants to be listed on there and wants to be front and center. And this is why when these guys, when Qeno and K9 approached me about this DEX, initially it was just because they wanted me to list Poor Pleb on there. But I was so interested in the project. We got talking back and forth, and then eventually they ended, I was suggesting ideas to them, and then they asked me if I would like to help them with the project and be a co-founder, and I was just all in on it because I realized that if Poor Pleb is on there and it's front and center, there's going to be so much buy pressure for my token because it's at the top of the yield farms. So it was just a match made in heaven, and it will be a match made in heaven for any zero utility coin out there, of which there are fucking millions, by the way. There's a new one launching every 5 seconds or something on Ethereum. So it's like these guys are going to want a place where they can bring utility to their token. Again, I'm ranting. I don't want to rant too hard about this. This wasn't meant to be like a big shill fest for 9inch, but our sacrifice phase is starting soon. And I think it's a good opportunity for guys to get in and man, at the ground floor of something like, think PulseX, but for memes. And honestly, it's going to have less initial dump pressure because people aren't instantly trading it for the other thing that they want, which is PulseChain. Everyone's aware that PulseX is getting traded for PulseChain immediately on launch because everyone missed PulseChain. Az doesn't have that. Actually, Az has an incentive to hold it right at the beginning and actually put it to use and use the utility that's available for it. So I think we're going to do incredibly well. Even if we only get 1% of the PulseX market share, PulseChain market share, we're going to do so fucking well because we're just not got anything weighing us down. That buy and burn pressure will be crazy. Yeah, man. Again, I'm ranting. I'm going to hand the mic over. Someone else speak, please.
I just want to fill in that I like how everybody kind of have their own aspect of like what they like about it. Like some fall for the memes and some fall for the utility, the farming attracts some people, like the high APYs. And this is kind of what I like about this project. Me personally, like I'm in love with the memes, obviously, but It's more about like creating a platform that's gonna make onboarding to PulseChain easier because PulseChain is a like, great onboarding tool for everybody. People got that airdrop and there is like cheap gas fees. I know some people say that the gas fees are high, but that's just a unit bias. If you look at the dollar value, it's not high at all. So PulseChain is going to become a great onboarding tool. And I think 9inch as a platform, like what we're trying to focus on is to like create a really fluid, easy, like an experience for those who come along and see like to be able to want to come back to this. Like if you want to say you want to stake your favorite tokens and there's no other place for them, like on PulseX, you can stake the RH tokens, obviously. But for all the other tokens, they also need a use case, and we want to be able to like develop a platform that's going to be good enough for those other projects to want to put their liquidity with us and want to have a staking pool and a farm as well. So it's just you can say it's like a good way to onboard more people to PulseChain because this is kind of like the pancake swap of PulseChain, right? So I think what PancakeSwap did, they kind of revolutionized the yield farming altogether. They made it very like colorful, easy to understand, and they have a lot of information of how you use everything. So that's kind of like the take we're gonna do here as well. Like we're trying to make it as easy as possible for people to use it. One thing I like a lot is what Frank is working on, the open AI that we're gonna have on the website for new users to be able to ask direct questions and like how do I join this farming pool? And the AI, which is going to be called Chat STD, is going to explain to you that you can go into, you have to first start off, choose which farm you want to go in first, and then make sure that you have both of those tokens and go into the liquidity page and on and on and on. So we're getting a lot of feedback from, well, we noticed that not a lot of people who sacrificed for PulseX actually used PulseX on the testnet. So many people came in and they tried our platform. I don't know why, actually, maybe because of the colorful theme and the memes and everything, but they tried our platform basically, and we got a lot of good feedback. For example, in the farms, like when you stake your LP token, your LP will disappear on the liquidity page. That's just standard DEXs. And all DEXs and all farms out there, they work the same. So we are the only one who added this unique feature that you can still manage your LP token, even though it's in the farm. You can still manage it in the liquidity page. And thanks to those like feedbacks we get from the community, I think we're gonna have an easy way to like build a user-friendly product. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So in the end, it's just about to make DeFi easier for newcomers, and all the new people is going to come to PulseChain in the future as well.
Yeah, man, well said. I just wanted to highlight, guys, our AI bot, our AI bot is called Chat STD. Like, come on, man. It's 9inch, Chat STD, BBC coin. You're gonna rap. It's fucking, oh my god, it's just like the innuendos are endless. There are just so many funny things about this thing. I remember when these guys sent me the first draft of the website and I seen the rock hard decks and then the fucking eggplant with the condom on it, and I just died because I was like that little like that 12-year-old that's still stuck inside of me that was literally drawing dicks on my like textbooks at school and stuff. It just, and bearing in mind, I'm a fucking 32-year-old man. A year and a half ago, when I started streaming for Hex, the reason I got even remotely popular, if that's the word, is because I used to draw dicks on charts. I would like do TA and then just turn it into a dick, and that would be like the thing. That was how I got any notoriety. And then I launched a coin called PP, which is just like everything about it is just perfect, man. Like I think this has got great potential to hit that meme coin space hard and thick and strong and powerful. It's just got so much potential, man. I don't even think like a lot of Hex guys really understand like how big this could be, just purely because they're not in tune with the meme coin space. But if you're a fucking clown like me and you laugh at it, that's kind of all you need. You just need something that's funny. Forget about how good the utility is and how amazing the yield farms are going to be. People will buy the 9inch token just because it's called 9inch and the logo is an eggplant. Like, they would just do that because it's funny. And like, there's just no arguing with it, man. Honestly, like, where utility, well, we've got shitloads, we've got more utility than any other meme coin I can think of. And the whole thing is a meme itself. So actually, well, I'm going to take this opportunity. I want all of you guys in here right now, if you're interested in 9inch, you need to go join the Telegram. I've pinned it in the top of the spaces here. It's t.me/dex 9inch. Go join the Telegram and ask questions. In fact, when we finish this spaces, which is probably going to be in about, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that, we're just going to open up the Telegram chat, and people can go ahead and ask questions if they want to. My phone is playing up, I think. Fuck's sake. But yeah, go ahead. If anyone else wants to speak, please, the mic is yours.
Hexy, when you do shut the space down, can you check your DMs? I sent you a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure thing. My Twitter is bugged out on my phone, so I might go silent just for a minute, guys.
Yeah, if there's other people inside the spaces who also would like to step up and speak or ask any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and Moomin might pass you the mic.
Sorry, I just missed that there. Somebody phoned me. What did you ask me there?
No, it was not for you. It was for all the others, actually, except you. I just said that Moomin will make you a speaker if you raise your hand.
Ah, right. Okay, I just heard my name. Yeah, put your hands up and I'll get you up here as quickly as possible.
And I'm back. My phone is 6 years old. It's a Huawei P20 Pro. Best phone I've ever had in the world. No reason to actually get rid of it, but it is starting to bug out a little bit because it doesn't update properly now. Because it turns out Huawei is actually a Chinese spy fucking phone, and they were spying on Western culture with it. So I had to, so they banned it over in my country.
Imagine them spying on you, out of all people, too. Like, this is their idea of Western culture, like, hexy bastard. Fucking dick jokes, guy.
I am the epitome of Western culture.
Are you in Montana right now?
Nah, man, I'm from England, but I'm currently in Paris, which is cool, right?
Oh shit! So the spies just made it all the way from Montana to France. Hey Hexy, it wasn't match made in heaven. It was a match made in giant eggplant between you and Qeno and stuff. For one. Next, James Bond. Magic 9inch, right? That was my idea, so automatically a 10% bonus for me.
We'll give you a stake.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, that's on top of it. And yeah, my wife, it's like, so you investing in a 9inch? And I'm like, yeah. Is this gonna make you? I was like, she's like, okay, go for it.
When you sat for this project, I want you to change your name to Wrecked on 9inch. Okay, bud?
No. I'm not going that way. I'm a 9inch wrecker.
This poor guy, for those who doesn't know, this guy actually made the I can't speak, my tongue is asleep. This guy made the top on Hex, basically. So he got in on the top, and he's been just sliding down the slope. And now he's watching his other bags getting wrecked as well.
Yeah, in it for the memes and wreckage. That's what I'm in it.
And I met him in Vegas, and he was the only one at the party with a Liquid Lounge shirt. He made it himself. It's pretty cool.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
And just a reminder, none of us are investing in anything. We are having a sacrifice.
Yeah, you must have no expectations of a 9inch because you might not get one.
Exactly.
No, but for real though, like, actually, this
don't tell my wife that.
No, this idea, like, I mean, I was so sold on it as soon as these guys, like, they were telling me at first, and I was like, how are you going to do that? Like, how are you going to do another dex? You won't have any volume. And then they were like, no, mate, look at these figures. Like, look at what the second best dex does. Look at the total value locked on all of these different dexes that I'd never even heard of in my life. They were like, They were total like random names. I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't even know what buy swap was. They were like, buy swap, fucking hell, it does like $120 million of volume a day. Are you joking? Like, what? And I just thought about the buy and burn, and then they told me, you know, single-sided PP staking. I'm like, what? People can lock up their PP and get yield on it, like without me having to go and develop my own platform to do so or anything like that. Like, and then I thought, oh, but every meme coin in the world is going to want this. Every single meme coin in the world is going to want this for their coin if it gets past a certain level of success. Like Pepe right now, man. Oh my god! If people realize that they could stake Pepe and not even have to sell it, but they could just earn yield on it. Oh my days! They would come a flocking. And then once they're in, they see the platform and they're like, oh shit, I can trade on here. Okay, I'm going to trade on here. Or oh my god, there's other farms. Like, so they come in for the Pepe staking, and then they see that PP has got like 4,000% APY or something stupid like that, and they'll be like, "Oh shit, I need to buy some of that now." So it's just bullish for every token that's at the top of the farms list because they're gonna be up there. And like, you know, this isn't on Richard because I'm sure he's gonna add more in the future. But like right now, PulseX only has one farm on it. And in the future, even when they add farms, do you think it will be coins like Pepe or Poor Pleb or even Shiba Inu or any of these guys? Like, no, it will be for Hex, PulseX, maybe Hedron, maybe Maxi. I doubt it, but maybe Maxi. We're definitely going to have all of those guys on there 100%. So it's just buy pressure for like all of the guys that are in our community that are building, because we respect all of them, man. I mean, we even like the Pulse Doge coin guys, like especially Qeno and K9, they stole their fucking brand, and these guys were insisting, no, we need to list them, we need to have pools for them as well, because they want to be inclusive to all projects, even the ones that copycat and steal their users, right? So it's not about pride or our own self-worth. It's about including everyone and giving us all a leg up, because if one of us wins, we all win on this kind of a platform. So it's just net positive for everyone who's listed on the platform. And the buy pressure on the 9-inch token, if this is successful, is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And it's completely deflationary as well, and it's DAO, so there's just so many bullish things. I've just brought David James up. How you doing, bro? You wanna go ahead?
Yeah, what's going on, brother? You actually kind of touched on what I wanted to ask. If there was gonna be any sort of like, look, we all love the shit coins, but we all know what they do and what they, you know, the wreckage they cause somebody, right? You know, if there was some sort of, I don't know, DAO or some sort of mechanism to kind of at least vet a little bit that, hey, it ain't gonna go up, you know, 100,000 and then boom, 100,000 just drops out because it gets rugged, right? So that you kind of just answered that with the let's kind of be all inclusive even of the assholes. So I appreciate that. But how do you know how to get a 9-inch PP? Because I don't know about all of y'all. I just fold mine in half.
That's clever. I like that. I like that a lot. I need to grow a little bit. Just a little. I'm close. Shit, bro. Imagine having an 8.
Yeah, sorry, just to give a quick answer on that. Like, we're not gonna list anything in the pools and the farms without prior vetting. Like, we're going through the code, we're making sure it's a safe token. Like, we're not gonna because if you list something there, like, it's a new pool, there's no liquidity in it, so the APR is gonna be like huge, like it's gonna be astronomical. So we have to make sure that those tokens that get on there, like people can get in, get out without any issues. And yeah, obviously we're gonna vet all the projects that will come onto the platform. I've been, since we started this, just the Telegram group and the testnet product, I think we have been contacted by 20 different like token founders and different projects that is still in the vetting list. Basically, we're gonna go through them and make sure that those who are there, like there is a solid community, solid founders behind it. The code is solid. There's no like red flags or backdoors or anything like that. So in that sense, it's gonna be a safe DEX. And if it's like a fully centralized project, like I mean, we all know that OA has about 90% of the supply, but the OA has shown to be benevolent. It doesn't dump any tokens on DEX or anything. But if it comes a new project like that, then forget it. Like we're not gonna list you if you're somebody of the founder is holding like 90% of the supply.
There's got to be a Dex play right there, right? I thought you were saying Dix a couple of times.
That's actually part of the reason that this is funny.
It's a DEX measuring contest, so we're trying to see who has the most liquidity in their DEX.
Yeah, who's got the thickest decks? It's class. It's class. Right, what I'm going to do then, guys, because we've been doing this space for about 2 hours now. Seems like a good time to start wrapping it all up. Now, after this space is finished, we are going to be hosting just like a little chit chat in our Telegram group, t.me/Dex 9inch. So if you've got any further questions or you just want like a little bit more of a laid back, non-recorded space to ask, you can go over there and ask away. Just want to go around the room real quick, see if anyone's got any final comments that they want to add. So first off, let's go Moomin Man.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on what David was saying there. So, of course, we can vet the projects that are going to get yield and that kind of thing that go into the voting DAO system. But it's a decentralized DEX like any other. Anybody can make a pair. So the risk is still there for coins to be put up that may be nefarious. And that's not something that as a DEX you can control. But the things that are front and center that are getting yield, of course, due diligence will be done there. I just wanted to add that.
Good shit.
I appreciate
that. David, anything you would like to add at the end here?
No, I just for anybody listening, I guess I've been involved with PP Port Pleb and come to the conclusion of my viewing and my interactions with Hexy and the community that this is a trustworthy project, and I'm kind of excited, and I love the fucking narrative. Like, it's just fucking hilarious. It's the fact that it actually has utility, by now, whereas before, with just Port Pleb, it was literally, hey guys, this is just a shitcoin meme, and a funny community, just like Pepe, just like all the other ones. And now we have this platform and PulseChain and PulseX to ramp it up. And like you said, do that separation from, hey guys, this is the funny shit over here. This is the real shit over here. And we can all mingle and be cohesive in this massive project that we're all a part of now. It's just fucking awesome, brother. I appreciate it.
Love you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you're a part of our community. In Plebs we trust. In Plebs we trust. We're gonna kill it one day, man. Price got destroyed recently, but man, hodlers be hodling. I've had a lot of messages off guys saying like, "Oh, I can't believe people are selling it at this price. I'm so happy I bought." Like, because they know what's in store, man. They know what will happen with this thing if it takes off. Like, yeah. Anyways, good shit. Appreciate you, bro. Magic Carpet Ride, Extrovert. What you got for us, bro?
Sorry, mate. I'm driving my kids to school. Yeah, I'm going to just try and hang out in your space, in your Telegram voice afterwards. We've set up a specific room for Magic 9inch to help support you guys. We think you're funny as fuck. Ever since we met you guys, and we just want to continue that collaboration. It's been awesome. Always a lot of fun, which is good because there's a lot of serious side to this. And so sometimes just to let your hair down, if you have any, is good. So yeah, if size matters, join our pool. Except for David, it sounds like he doesn't have a problem with size, so maybe he wants to give some away.
Yeah. Actually, one of us has pinned your tweet up there. So if you are interested in the Magic Carpet Ride pool for 9inch, then you can hit that link at the top of the spaces right now and go and have a chat with those guys.
If you're not familiar with us, we did a community pool for PulseX. We decided to do it on the day We end up getting a 2.15x multiplier for all the PulseX stackers through us. We did a 2.338 multiplier for liquid loans, number one wallet. We beat God Whale. PP, internet money, everyone we've done, everyone's got over 2x, and we've facilitated 100% sent to everybody, and we will continue to do so. So, yeah, enjoy.
Good shit, bro. Good shit. Yeah, we appreciate that, man. It's nice to have people that are actually trusting, people you can trust in the system. In this system of no trust, sometimes you have got to trust people. So it is good to have guys like you around that can, facilitate that. So hats off to you guys. You're doing great work. Marco, what you saying, bro? Okay, never mind. Marco be sleeping. Now, last but not least, certainly not least, I love this guy very, very much. He's built an amazing product. Our lead dev, Qeno. Any final thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I can just say, like, for those who doesn't know, we do have a product already on the testnet. I would say join our Telegram group and ask the questions you have. We'll give you some test ether so you can try it out and see for yourself if this is something for you or not, basically.
Yeah,
And thank you, actually, for hosting this, actually, too. It's an amazing turnout. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you, Gary, for all the good points you lifted up. Thank you, David, for sharing your size with us. And that's all.
Yeah,
His
good
size
shit.
is not size. Is that what they say? His size is not size?
I said thank you for sharing your size with us.
No, it's a joke on Twitter. Some of the big players in the centralized markets, flashing around their cash and say your size is not size.
Ah, okay. Man, this guy is full of it. It's a fucking quote machine, this guy, huh?
He is, man. He's on it. He's on it. Once I'm back from Paris, I'm going to start streaming like a motherfucker. Hextrovert, we'll have to get you and your boys on, and we'll have a good natter. I do want to give a shout out to Gary as well. Fun and Jimmy dropped off for a bit there, but yeah, well, I appreciate your feedback. Always appreciate your support. You're a fucking legend, mate. And it's really great when you come through because you're such an intelligent guy and you've got a good perspective on things. And you're actually one of the, I would say you're kind of like, I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but you're kind of like a maxi who can look past the maximalism, because you understand that the Richard Hart ecosystem is the way to go, but you can see that he's not going to cater to every single pocket of the market. And definitely the meme coin end of the market is 30-40% of the total market, which is a huge amount, man. Like, we want those guys over in PulseChain. We really do. We want this to be like, at the end of the day, the game here is volume. Like, if there's a lot of volume going through PulseX, everyone wins. If there's a lot of volume going through 9inch and PulseX, everyone wins even harder. So it's just a good way to bridge those communities a little bit and introduce people to the way. There's not a guy out in the world who likes transacting. If I want to buy Pepe on Uniswap, I don't want to pay $50 just to buy it. That's not cool, because most of these guys coming into the shitcoin casino don't have a lot of money. So paying $50 just to get in and then another $50 just to get out is not a good way to do things. In fact, a friend of mine messaged me earlier. He wanted to get in that sluts token because Andrew Tate posted a fucking comment with sluts in it, $LUTS. And he was like, mate, that thing went up like 1,000x from when I seen it, but I couldn't buy it because I didn't have enough Ethereum. I'm just like, well, that's the fucking game, bro. Like, Ethereum's expensive. You got to be ready for that shit if you want to play the game. But a lot of these things rug. But this is why people go for meme coins, because they can go up 1,000x in a day. You won't see any blue chip coin, and I would class Hex as a blue chip coin. That's not going to go up 1,000x in a day. So people haven't got that time frame in their head of like, oh, okay, I'm happy to wait 5 years for my gains. Like, people want the gains right now. And that's what meme coins are here for. That's why people go in on them, because they've seen it. Pepe went up 15,000x or something crazy like that from the bottom. It's just nuts, man. All it takes is a little bit of virality and things can go up thousands of X really fucking quickly. And that is why we have so many people on the meme coin space right now. So It would be great if we can bring some of those guys over to PulseChain, allow them to transact for a reasonable amount of money, which is literally a few pennies. There's no reason you should be paying more than that to send an ERC20 or buy on Uniswap or PulseX or 9inch or wherever. You really shouldn't be doing that. So that's my final thought for the evening. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. We had like 400 members in here at one time during this, and we've had over 300 for a long time. Thank you everyone for coming through. If you want to continue the conversation, go ahead and join our Telegram. It's t.me/dex9inch. We'll have a long natter in there. And until then, I will see you all on the next one. Peace.
Good night.